Hi and welcome. So today I'm going to share with you a few tips and tricks on how to handle stress. Now, my question for you is, how much do you feel stressed in your day-to-day living, in your day-to-day activity? Maybe you just can't cope with work pressures, or maybe you have too many responsibilities, or maybe you have health issues, maybe you have relationship issues, but just know that you're not alone. We're presently experiencing a dangerous modern day stress epidemic. So I'm going to share with you what stress is, how it can impact your life, and also proven stress management activities that can help you cope with everyday stresses better. Okay? Now, millions of people all over the world are experiencing extremely high levels of stress, which has been associated with like major mental and also physical health issues. And stress is believed to trigger 85% of serious illnesses and 70% of visits to doctors. So we have lots of health issues that are coming that are linked to stress. We have anxiety, we have depression, diabetes, IBS, irritable bowel syndrome, digestive issues like acidity, maybe indigestion, there's cancer, there's fertility issues, there's heart attack, there's high blood pressure, immune disorders, there's insomnia, there's stroke, there's ulcers, and there are so many things that are linked to there are skin issues like psoriasis, and I'm going to share to you, or I'm going to explain to you what causes stress. Now, when we perceive a dangerous or threatening thing in front of us, we feel stressed out, right? Now, when we feel stressed out, there's an increase in our heart rate, our skin, our palms become sweaty, there's the shaking with nerves, there's the voice trembling, there's palpitation, and this is because every thought we have creates a biochemical reaction in our bodies. So stress is not just in your head, it's also in your body. Okay? So when we feel anxious, when we feel fearful, our bodies respond with the same response, with the same stress response. Now, what happens is it releases cortisol, it releases adrenaline, and also stress hormones into our body, activating our sympathetic nervous system. So what happens next is that our bodies then prepare to fight or to flight, okay? Which is what our ancestors would have needed if, for example, they were attacked by a wild animal or needed to fight for food. So we may not be chased around by wild animals these days, but we're constantly dealing with stress on a daily basis, placing physical, mental, emotional demands on ourselves. Now, there are always lessons to be learned. There are always decisions to be made. There are always deadlines to meet. And plus, life events cause additional stress, which has no outlet in our modern sedentary lifestyle. And some common causes of stress, the first one is work. There's the high pressure deadline driven working week, which can cause significant stress, which is thought to cost like billions each year in terms of absences from work. Then there's life events like moving house, getting married, divorce, having kid, baby, children, or losing a close person, close one. And there are so many things like there's study, like exam pressures, peer pressures, competing or unsupportive system, and there's technological like we're constantly being connected to devices, unable to switch off. We have our phone, computer, it's just difficult to disconnect from these things. There are also internal conflict. There's disconnection, like I have to do this, I should do this, I must do this, I need to do this. And when we encounter any kind of stress or any kind of threat to our general well-being, our body activates the stress hormone or the stress response. However, if we're not acting on the biochemical response, and if we're not using it to burn off the stress or hormones, then it can cause lots of health issues. Okay, so there's the high cortisol levels that indicate to your body to store more fat. It will also switch off your fertility as your mind thinks that you must be in danger, which is not the right time to have a baby, right? And then there's also stress that can also make you lose your hair. It can cause skin issues, cause your skin to break out. It can cause a depletion in your energy level. It can lead to all kinds of diseases. So when demands exceed a person's ability to cope, problems can arise, as emotional, as physical, as behavioral changes. Okay, so nowadays we have so many things to be stressed about, right? And stress is not going to go away. We live in a world of stress. Instead of like trying to get rid of it, it's much better to decide, well, I'm just going to deal with it, because it's actually unreasonable to never have stress, right? And there have been like some studies that say monks that live on a desert island, they feel stressed as well. And the people who live in isolation feel stressed. If you have children, if you have a family, if you have a job, if you have a life, if you're going through like in a relationship, you're going to be stressed. Okay, so stress management involves addressing stress levels either by reducing pressures or by learning coping strategies, ideally a combination of the two. So by understanding the causes, by understanding the effects of stress in ourselves, we're also in a better position to recognize it in others and offer support when needed with stress management. Okay, so I'm going to share with you a few proven stress management activities that you can do anytime, but you've got to do it, because if you have got the tool, then don't let it out there. You need to just use it. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to talk about is breathing. When we were born, we breathe in, right? When we die, we breathe out in between this life. Okay, so as soon as you relax, what's the first thing that you do? You may not even notice, but you will let out a deep breath, like releasing tension as you release air. So have you ever let out a sign of relief and felt all the stress, all the tension just melt away? You know, you just come from work and then you sit down and then you do like, you know, it's just to release our tension. So our breathing is something that we can control, and it's a powerful way to influence our body, because our breathing is a connection between the body and the soul and the mind as well. So when you're breathing, just observe if you're breathing from the chest or from the belly, because when we are stressed, our breathing tends to become more rapid and shallow, like breathing from our chest instead of deeply into our belly. So each time, just notice. A good way to see where you're breathing from is just to place one hand on your chest, one hand on your belly. Just notice which hand is moving more. So when you breathe in, because we want to breathe into our diaphragm with long, slow breath. So you just observe. So is it, when you breathe in, is it here that moves, or is it on your diaphragm? And as you breathe in, you imagine you're filling your belly up like a big balloon and see your tummy rise with fresh, clean air. And as you release and exhale, you imagine letting go of all the stress, all the tension, and all the anxiety for a long, controlled breath. And as you expel it out, you blow it far away into the distance and realize that it has now disappeared. It has now dissipated and also absorbed into the atmosphere. So let's do that one more time. You breathe in, your belly goes out like a big balloon, and then you breathe out. That's the first breath. The second breath, we call it the box breathing, the square breathing. And this is a very powerful breathing exercise that activates the relaxation response in the nervous system. So the square breathing is made of 4 equal parts, like a square. Okay, so breath is, when you're breathing, you breathe in for a count of 4. You hold for a count of 4. You breathe out for a count of 4. Then you hold the breath for a count of 4, and you repeat that for at least minimum is 10 times. Okay, this simple breathing technique can relax your body, can relax your mind so quickly and effectively. And the beauty of breathing techniques is that they are free, and you can do them like anywhere, anytime you feel stressed or just want to like unwind, you just want to relax your body and mind. Okay, so that's the first one, breathing through the diaphragm. The second one is you need to move your body. If you don't move you will become stagnant. Your body feels lethargic. Okay, so the stress response sets us up for physical activity to fight or flight. However, our sedentary lifestyles often have us sitting for hours on end and also moving our bodies, which are full of stress hormones, primed and also ready to run. So when you move your body, it's a critical component for a healthy life, and it's one of the most powerful stress management activity you can do. And one of the quickest and easiest ways to deal with stress is to push your shoulders down. Like, you just notice each time, even when you're taking shower, sometimes your shoulders are like this. So just put it down. You will notice that when you stress, your shoulders rise up. So by pushing them down, you are signaling to your mind that you want to relax. Okay? So just be aware. That's it. If you work at a desk, try to get up once an hour for a walk around for just 2 minutes. Stretch your body, reconnect with your breath, because these simple exercises, they're going to help you be more productive, be more focused. And also, if you have time, do 30 minutes of yoga at least 3-4 times per week, or even 15 minutes if you can, because yoga is a great practice for stress management, for loosening up the body, for getting the stuck, stale energy in the body flowing correctly again. Okay, so gentle movement, yoga, tai chi. There's also a jog, or even just a walk at lunch times will help your body burn off the stress hormones and also reset your body to its natural equilibrium and homeostasis. And one thing you can do is each time you have your lunch, each time you have your dinner, just walk for 10 minutes. Okay, instead of just sitting in front of your computer, checking your phone, or watching TV, whatever it is that you do, just do 10 minutes of exercise, even if you're just jogging in place. Okay, so exercise releases feel-good hormones, which counter stress and also increase productivity. It increases your focus, your concentration, it boosts your immune system. I mean, there are so many things that that exercise help your body with. Then there's just shake your body, just shake it, because this is one of the best ways to reduce stress. It's something our bodies do naturally, which is shaking. So if you have ever been nervous about something like giving a presentation or maybe facing a fear, you may have experienced your body shake. Actually, shaking is a great thing to do when you are stressed, as it releases tension from the body. If you've ever watched animals, when they're stressed, they will just shake, and they shake a lot and then they feel better. If you've ever seen like little kids, what they do when they're upset, they just fling themselves on the floor and they kick their arms, they kick their legs out, and they just scream. And then they get up 2 minutes later and they're fine. Okay? And kids have what we call a tantrum to release stress from their bodies. And it's actually super smart. So it's one way to just shake your body, and also you don't need to have a full-blown tantrum in order to distress. You just need to shake your brain, tell your brain to wake up, shake your arms, your legs, and then you can put on your favorite music. You can dance around shaking your body. This is also it's a great way to release stress. And don't just take my word for it. Give this stress management activity a go and notice how you feel before and afterwards. So you can just look in the mirror and then just shake, then smile, because your body, when you're smiling, your brain thinks that there is no stress. Okay? It doesn't know the difference between what is real and what is imaginary. Then we have the fourth one is meditation, or listening to guided meditation, guided relaxation audios. This has been proven to be incredibly effective in stress management and also relaxing the body and the mind. So when you first wake up, you can just put on your audio for 5 minutes, and then it will help you let go. And it's all about meditation is about gaining awareness in the present moment, where you don't stop or suppress your thoughts, but you observe them without any judgment. There's no good or bad, there's just your perception of it. Okay? And a simple meditation practice for beginners, you just sit or lie in a comfortable posture, you close your eyes, you focus on your breathing, you don't try to control it, you just breathe naturally. You notice how your body moves with each inhalation and exhalation. And each time you notice your mind wander, you simply bring it back, bring your attention back to your breath, to the present moment. Because when you're in the present moment, there's no stress. You're breathing, okay? You're stressed because you're focusing, you're dwelling on something on the past, what he said, what she did, and then you're focusing on the future, okay? Now, diet. Our diet is incredibly important in stress management, in our overall well-being. Eating a plant-based diet with lots of fresh and locally produced organic vegetables is ideal. Toxins for the body such as nicotine, alcohol, caffeine, refined sugar stress the body. Okay? So know what you're putting in your body. You're not what you eat. It's how you eat it, and it's also what you absorb. When you eat, try to chew it at least 24 times, okay? And then there's very important thing, it's sleep, which is needed the most. I've created a relaxing hypnotic audio. You can use it to help get better sleep. You can send me a message in the box below, and for more information you can listen to this hypnotic audio at night to be free of insomnia and also enjoy a refreshing sleep. Okay, so sleep is very important. Make sure you have at least 7 to 8 hours of sleep. And then there is self-care. This is self-care is healthcare, okay? And you need to also love yourself, because there's relaxing activities that helps your parasympathetic nervous system, And like getting a massage, pampering yourself, it's not just a luxury, it's self-care. It's a part of your healthcare routine, and it's an important part of de-stressing. Yes, I was talking about self-love. It's very important that you love yourself, show yourself love, appreciate yourself. Okay. There's also hugging hormones like physical touch. It's very important as it releases oxytocin, which is a chemical that increases when we hug, when we touch, when we're physically close to someone. And oxytocin can have anti-stress benefits such as a reduction in blood pressure. There's also lowering stress hormones. Like, hugging someone for at least 20 seconds or 10 minutes or holding just increases oxytocin. It reduces all the harmful effects of stress. And also, when you do activities that you're passionate about, that you love, you get into a flow-like state which relaxes your nervous system. So doing things we love not only releases happy hormones to make us feel good, but it makes us healthier too, as it reduces stress. And there's also enjoying a favorite hobby, or maybe watching a funny movie or comedy, and just laughing, because it's important, because it releases endorphins. It also decreases the stress hormones in the bloodstream. Okay. And then visualization, imagination. Your imagination is the most powerful tool that you own, and when you learn how to use it as part of stress management, you can influence how your body responds. While we cannot change the situation, we can change how we respond, how we react, and the meaning that we attach to it, which has a huge impact on how stress affects us. Okay. Then there is talk, communicate. If you're feeling stressed, you need to talk it out. Okay. As they say, a problem shared is a problem halved. Yes. And it's important not to suppress your feelings, but to listen and also to act on them. If everything has a purpose, what can you learn from a stressful situation? What needs to change? What result would you want instead? So it's useful to gain a different perspective on the situation. And sometimes the best way to do this is to talk to others and benefit from their valuable experience, or maybe gain experts' opinions and advice. And sometimes we can't do it ourselves. When we're facing a difficult situation, it's better to find professional help than to go on Google and trying to find all the symptoms. Okay? And just in the same way that we use trainers for our bodies and coaches to improve our sports, therapy can give you the tools, it can give you the techniques to empower major transformation in your life. And any traumatic experiences can form deep-rooted beliefs that affect our behavior on a subconscious level. And if you don't know how to deal with it, you can always reach out. I can help you understand and transform the underlying issues, freeing you from any limiting beliefs, reprogramming the mind for success. And stress comes from your mind. It has been proven that some stress can be good for you. It can help you accomplish tasks more effectively and actually improve your performance. But when it becomes out of control, then you need to do something. Okay? You can learn how to make stress your friend. And it has also been found that it wasn't the amount of stress people experience, but rather what they thought about it that had the biggest effect on their health. And it was concluded that people didn't die prematurely from stress itself, but from believing that stress was bad for them. It was all about stress management and perception. So when you change your mind about stress, what it means, you can change your body's response to stress. And your body believes you. And your stress response becomes healthier when you're aware of what you're thinking. And the most powerful potential on the planet comes from your mind. We think in pictures. So just observe, what are the pictures that you have in your mind when you're thinking about something? What pictures you have in your mind? What words are you saying to yourself? Every thought you think causes a physical reaction. It causes an emotional response within you. So first you make your belief, and then your beliefs make you. Because you are, at the end of the day, what you believe. When you believe that stress is a terrible thing, you say, okay, stress is giving me a heart attack. This stress is killing me. Or I'm so stressed, I'm going to lose my mind. There's so many things, I feel overwhelmed. There's so many things on my plate. I feel stressed out. So we cannot control what happens to us, but we can control how we respond. We can control the meaning that we attach to situations, and therefore how it affects us. And also, fear, anxiety, and excitement are pretty much the same feelings, just with different meanings attached to them. So you change the stories, you change the self-talk when you're stressed, and watch how your life unfolds. And when you're stressed, you have to decide to talk about it differently. Tell yourself a different story. Change your perception, change your perspective of things. So instead of saying this gives me a pain in the neck, or this is a nightmare, or this is a disaster, just say, oh, this is a challenge. And you will learn to see things as a challenge that can be met. When you say this is a challenge, your mind hears that you have a situation that can be dealt with, or even an opportunity. But when you say problems, it normally associated with something very negative, like a problem, like a bad thing that has happened. So as your mind is always listening to the words, to the images that you use, talk yourself out of stress by carefully choosing positive, empowering words. Okay? And also, each time you say something that are not helping you, like a thought, a negative thought, just ask yourself these questions. Like, you have to challenge the thoughts. Like, is it true? Am I 100% sure that this is true? Who will I be without this story that I'm telling myself? Or who would I be without this thought, without this belief? And then when I think about this, how do I feel? And where do I feel it in my body? Then you look for 5 things that you can, that can prove, that is going to show you that whatever you're thinking is not true. Because when you go back, that time when you had to deliver speech, you were so stressed out because there were going to be lots of people, and you were having all these worst scenarios in your head. And what happened? Everything went out like really good, and you stressed yourself out of nothing. So each time it's important to be aware that right now I'm having this negative thought. So what can I do about it? I can stay miserable and continue to think about that, which is going to create a negative loop, or I can just be aware, observe the thought, and observe the thought as cloud in the sky. It's coming, okay? And then you decide, what are you going to do with that thought? Are you going to keep it or discard it? But by observing it as an observer, you'll be able to let it go completely. But if you really fight it, if you resist it, it will persist. So know what you would like to do with this thought. Okay, just be aware. Right now I'm feeling this, I feel it there in my chest or wherever you feel it, and then you just let it, observe what's happening. Then it's going to lose its grip. Okay, so hope that you got something out of this video. And if you have any question you would like to ask, any question about yoga, about tools and techniques, you can just send me a message in the link below. And you take good care of yourself. Stay safe. Thank you. Bye bye.